Good afternoon, Cam. How are you?
Doing good. How about you?
I'm doing pretty well. Thanks for meeting with me on Zoom. How's your day been going so far?
Pretty good. Just hanging out, watching football, chilling.
Yeah. Can you tell me a little bit about yourself? What's your name? What year are you? Where you go to school at?
Yeah. So my name is Cam Wormy.
Mhm.
Play baseball here at USC.
Okay.
20 years old. Just transferred here. I'm a sophomore. Um, yeah, that's kind of the gist of it.
Okay. You said you play baseball.
Yes.
What position do you play?
Yeah, I pitch for baseball.
Yeah. Okay. How's the season been so far?
Um, Solid. We're just doing fall ball stuff right now, so just kind of getting reps in and just kind of
And
learning the system since I just got here
where did you come from? What school?
from Liberty University.
How you liking the position so far?
I like it. There's a lot more to do around here.
Yeah.
A lot more people. It's just like a bigger environment.
Hmm.
Baseball, bigger environment, bigger stage, more craziness.
Right. Have you how long have you played baseball for?
Long time. I played in like high school, middle school before that, so long time. Pretty much forever, I guess.
Right. Do you live on campus?
Yes.
Can you tell me about that situation, who you're arranged with?
Yeah, a couple of the other players on the team, in an apartment not too far from the baseball facilities.
What floor is that? Do you know?
Third.
Okay. All right. Can you tell me a little bit about your injury?
Yeah, so my shoulder just been really hurting, and it's kind of been keeping me from being able to like pitch at my full ability.
Yeah.
Like I feel like I don't have as much control or velocity on the ball.
Mhm.
Uh, yeah, so it's just been kind of painful and annoying, like just stopping me from being able to like develop and train like I'd like to.
All right. Is this your left or right shoulder?
Uh, right shoulder. It's kind of like in the back on my right shoulder.
Can you tell me what happened? Do you remember specifically when you started having problems?
Um, I don't know. It kind of started like a little twinge after like a bullpen session, but I mean,
Can you repeat
pitcher's
that? You
smart.
said it was a what?
Kind of. It was just kind of like a little pain after a bullpen session. Um, I probably threw like 20, 25 pitches, like nothing out of the ordinary.
All right.
But after it kind of started hurting, and then it's just kind of been getting worse. Like every time I gotta go out and throw again, and like at this point, it's very difficult to get through like daily throwing routines and stuff, just because it'll start hurting so much.
Okay. And a bullpen session is, can you tell me more about that? What's that? It's just like a
Yeah.
pitching series.
So yeah, we kind of have like a schedule where you'll throw a bullpen, and then you'll have a recovery day, and then you'll have like a kind of warm up, like preparation day, and then you'll throw in a game, and then the cycle kind of just repeats itself. So the bullpen is like a simulation of actually pitching in the game. So you'll usually throw like 25 to 30 pitches,
Yeah.
kind of working on what you're going to throw in the game and like based off of like scouting reports for the team, that kind of thing.
Yeah.
So it's kind of it's a routine thing, but like I do it all the time. It just after this one, probably like 2 weeks ago, it just kind of started hurting and hasn't really stopped from there, and it's been getting worse.
Okay. Have you still been active since you first tweaked it?
Yeah, I mean, I've been trying. I've been doing what I can, but it's just kind of tough because like my velocity has fallen off a little bit. My accuracy hasn't been so good.
Right.
Um, so yeah, my other thing is like I'm worried about coaches and other players seeing that and thinking that like I'm not putting in the work or like doing what I'm supposed to be doing.
Okay.
So I'm just kind of worried about that as well because like I just transferred here, so I don't want people to think I'm like injury prone or like just like problem prone or anything like that.
Understood. Can you tell me about the pain specifically? Do you remember kind of the onset, or did it
Yeah.
feel kind of more of right after the session? Or like, was there a specific moment of
Um,
bothering
felt
you?
like I was saying, it's kind of like a twinge right after the session, and like it'll be kind of sharp when I like try and do stuff with it. But if I'm just like sitting here, it's just kind of like an achy pain.
Okay. If you had to rate your pain on a scale of 0 to 10, 0 being no pain at all, 10 being the worst pain you can imagine, what would you give it during the onset and right now at rest,
Um, at
or
first
even
I would
during
say, maybe,
activity? I'm sorry,
yeah,
or even
like
during activity.
at rest at the beginning, it was probably like a two, and now I would say it's like a four at rest. And then like when I'm trying to pitch or like pick something up or just like move my shoulder at all, at the beginning I would say it was like a four, five. Now it's probably more like a six or seven. Like once I get towards the end of practice, it's up in that like seven range.
Okay. Have you ever had shoulder problems with you in the past?
I mean, nothing out of the ordinary. I mean, pitching all the time and throwing, like my arm just sore. Like everybody got a
Natural
sore arm from
soreness, tightness, yeah.
yeah. Yeah. I mean, it's just kind of like normal baseball stuff, but this just felt like a little bit out of the ordinary and it didn't really go away with like the normal stuff that I would do uh like for just regular soreness from throwing.
Mhm. What motions specifically bother you when you're kind of going through your progressions, or even just in general?
Anytime I gotta like pull my arm back, like if I try and do like a row or like when I try and do my warm-ups, like my external rotations, that hurts a lot. That feels like kind of like a tight, achy pain. And then whenever I throw and I follow through, like when my arm is coming down, it feels like kind of like a stretch back there.
Yeah. Do you have any family history of any type of chronic illnesses I should be aware of?
Um, Not that I can think of. Maybe like high blood pressure or something.
Do you know on whose side?
I think my dad's side.
Do you have any allergies?
Um, Not that I know of. I'm not really sure. I don't think so.
And have you been taking any medications for since onset?
Yeah, I'll take like ibuprofen or like Aleve.
How's that been working for you?
I mean, it was kind of working at first, but now I feel like it's just gotten to the point where like that stuff doesn't really help too much anymore. So I still been taking it, but I don't really know if it's doing anything at this point.
What would you say is your biggest goal for our appointments moving forward? Your number one concern?
Um, well, I want to kind of figure out my next steps with the shoulder situation, and then also just kind of navigate this whole situation of like perceptions of the rest of the team and the coaches on like how I've been performing because I haven't really like talked to anybody
Yeah,
about it hurting because I don't want them to think that I'm like soft or injury prone like I was saying. So I've kind of just been trying to work through it.
yeah,
Um, I mean, like they've asked me a couple of times about it, but I'll just kind of shrug it off, just be like, it's fine. It's just like normal sore, whatever.
yeah,
So figuring out the shoulder situation and what I can do next steps to like get back to where I need to be since it's fall ball season. So I got a lot of time to kind of get ready before the spring. So kind of getting that figured out and then I guess just kind of navigating the situation of like being anxious about the whole thing and like not really knowing what to do about that kind of situation because just a lot of anxiety around the whole
yeah.
scenario, I guess.
Okay. So just to reiterate, are your coaches aware of that anything you're going through as far as your shoulder?
Not really, no. I mean, they might see me like grabbing at it, like I said, but I mean, they kind of just think it's like regular soreness like everybody else.
Yeah. And you said you're concerned about letting them know about what's going on specifically.
Yeah.
Can you tell me a little bit more about that?
Yeah, I mean, I just transferred here. I'm supposed to be kind of worked right into the rotation since I'm a sophomore. Like I've already played a year of college ball, so kind of don't want to like let down expectations, I guess. And then also, like I was saying, don't want to kind of start a reputation of like having injuries or being injury prone or anything like that, especially like since I just got here and haven't really established my spot in the rotation or anything like that.
Okay. So it's not like a concrete, like nobody knows on the team who's starting and the rotations haven't
Yeah,
been.
at this point, it's all kind of getting figured out during fall ball, just kind of see how people play, how kind of progress once we get towards the season starting.
Have you ever had any injury type, not just related to your shoulder, but and like prohibiting injury where you've had to sit out with coaches before?
Not really, which is why it's kind of a weird situation for me because I haven't really had to do something like this before. So it's just kind of like causing a lot of anxiety that's like
Yeah.
just constant, kind of like always trying to think about it and be like, like, how do I figure this out? Like that kind of thing.
Yeah. How is your relationship with your coaches and
I would
teammates?
say it's pretty good. I mean, like I said, I kind of just got here, so like I mean, a lot of the other guys have tighter relationships with them, but I'd say it's pretty good. For just getting here this year.
I've noticed you mentioned anxiety a couple of times. Is there anything else you can tell me about that? Maybe a history of anxiety with any other issues, or is it just kind of just now
Yeah,
prevalent?
I mean, it's just making me anxious in like day to day life, just because I feel like it's like always on my mind. Like if I'm in class or trying to get some work done or something, like I'm just always thinking about it, trying to figure out what to do. It's just weighing a lot on me. So it's kind of been difficult to like focus on classes and things like that, just with all that anxiousness going on.
Okay. Have you ever spoken to anybody about any type about anxiousness in general, or spoken any type of help in that area?
Not really. I
Yeah.
mean, I came from like a smaller town before college, so we didn't really have a whole lot of like therapists or like healthcare stuff around there.
Yeah.
Um, I mean, we had like a school nurse and there was like a hospital in
Uh,
like the next town, but we didn't really have anywhere to go with that kind of thing. So not really. I haven't really done that in the past at all.
yeah. How do you feel like you manage when you're kind of getting the onset of anxiety when it comes to like focusing in class, getting work done? How do you kind of manage that?
I mean, I kind of figured out eventually, like after I kind of sit there and like calm myself down on it and like kind of tell myself like, hey, I got to get this work done. Like I can't really, and then, like I might have this situation going on, but that doesn't change the fact that I got to get the work done
Yeah,
that I got to get done.
kind of just pushing through.
Yeah, I kind of just power through it and just tell myself like, hey, like I got to get done what I got to get done.
How often would you say this happens per week or even per day?
Um, I would say like this past week probably happened like maybe like 3 or 4 times. Usually kind of just like in the middle of the hustle and bustle of the day, like when I'm kind of already getting overwhelmed by other stuff, and then I start thinking about it, just makes me more anxious.
Would you say it's more so when you're trying to focus on school or just in general?
Yeah, I think just it's mainly like when my mind isn't occupied by something else. Like if I'm kind of just like sitting there doing schoolwork and just start kind of feeling a little bit overwhelmed.
Yeah. How are classes going for you up to this point?
I mean, I think they're going pretty well. Yeah, I mean, like they figure out with the team like how to get us to class and like have enough time to get all our stuff done. So I think I'm doing pretty solid, like kind of getting used to the bigger classes and all that.
Okay. Well, I think I have everything for today. Do you have any specific questions for me?
Um, I guess just kind of what like my next steps would be, like who the people that I could go like talk to or
Or-
see about my shoulder and the kind of anxiousness thing.
Okay. Yeah, for sure. For starters, as the athletic trainer, as far as your shoulder, that's something we're definitely going to look into. That's something that we want to work on. Your biggest goals, according to what I've gotten, is pretty much just addressing the pain and getting back on the field feeling as healthy as possible. So that's something that we can actively work out aggressively. Is speaking to someone as far as your anxiety, is that something you want to do, or is it something you feel like you need to, or is it something you want to just monitor progressively?
I mean, if we got something like that, I mean, it might not be a bad idea. I can at least try it out,
For sure.
see
Absolutely.
how it
Yeah.
goes.
Yeah, for sure. There's resources on campus that I can send over to you and even help you schedule those appointments. And that's something that we can monitor for sure. As far as your shoulder, we're going to do everything in our power just to get you in, probably have you come in for treatment a couple times per week. We'll take a look at it and we're going to do our best to get you as best as possible. As far as your coaches, this is something that it's pretty much up to it's pretty much up to your discretion. If you feel comfortable with letting them know, if you don't feel comfortable, we're going to do our best on our end to make sure that you feel ready to go. If it's something that progressively gets worse, where we might need to hold you back from play, then that's a conversation that the three of us can have with the coach in general. Um, but as far as resources, there's definitely resources on campus that I'm more than happy to connect you with. Yeah,
Okay, that sounds good. I mean, I guess I wouldn't mind talking to the coach. Maybe if one of y'all was able to come with me and kind of like legitimize the like let them
absolutely,
know that I'm not just like
absolutely,
saying say it, that like there's a legitimate reason. Like you know what I'm saying? Like I feel like it would just kind of make the coaches not think that I'm just like saying whatever because y'all
absolutely.
have a little pretty
Absolutely.
on that.
Everything that you said up to this point is 100% valid. Being a new student, being a transfer, having those concerns with, was this, does the coach think I'm just kind of just going through the motions? So everything makes sense. Your pain, your injury is definitely real. It's not something that's just made up. That's something that we want to address, and that's something that we want to be able to get on the same page as the coach. So again, on our end, that's something that we're going to work aggressively at. We can do everything in our power to make you feel 100%. Get ready to get back on the field and get ready to go. So, but yeah, I thank you for your time. Thanks for meeting with me, and thanks for being open to that. Really helps. Helps all of us get to where we need to be.
Awesome. Yeah, appreciate you having the time to meet with me today and give me the next steps.
Yes, sir. We'll get you worked out.
All right, sounds good.